well, this is the Penistone Paramount. It's been here since 1915. It was built with a grant from the Carnegie organisation, more famous probably for the Carnegie Hall in New York. And it was built for the town. The idea being that it would give the town a theatre. However, by the time it was built, the moving pictures had come to town, and a local trade decided the best thing to do would be to show films as well. Because actually the place was built without a projection room initially. It was purely as a theatre. So he paid the princely sum of £300 to build a projection room on the back, and it's never not shown films since. It's one of the few cinemas around that's never closed. It's really a niche market here. We can never compete with a multiplex with a choice of 8, 10, 12, whatever it is films. It just doesn't happen. But people come here because A, they like the surroundings. It's a traditional cinema. It's what traditional cinemas used to be like. They feel safe here, and we program films that they want to see. I mean, we're not unique in this way, but we do try and get in stuff that people want to see. They can ring me up, they can email me, come and see me, quite a few do, and tell us what they want. And that way we can react much better to the audience than most multiplexes that will basically put on what they give them. What we do is provide local cinema for local people. That's the truth of the matter. However, we play on the heritage side of it, and that's how we promote it. It's a proper cinema. It's a heritage cinema going on in the 21st century. We do ask people, and by and large they say they like coming here because A, with the bar, and they can come and have a drink. B, the staff are great. By and large we get relatively new films. In the past we've been into sort of 2-month-old films. We try not to do that these days. Having said that, we had Slumdog Millionaire in last week. The week before, 1,400 people through the door in week 8, which is remarkable. We used to play a lot of 18s and teen type films, and as the multiplexes got bigger and bigger, that audience was lost. But we carried on playing those films. Now my predecessor changed all that, and he looked at what audience he had and put films on to suit the audience. I just follow that on. And by and large here we will play, at weekends we try and play children's films, family films, so we major on those. We major on quality British films. Young Victoria, I'd have that on release if they'd let me. That sort of thing. Slumdog Millionaire is another one, The Queen, The Duchess, all these sort of things. They all play well here. Action adventure can do. Bond did pretty well. Indiana Jones did very well. Everybody did fantastically with Mamma Mia. We're lucky. We've got good relationships with some film companies. Not all of them. Some of them are horrible. Some of them are great. And I research it. Yeah, I spend a lot of time actually trawling the internet, checking out what's coming out. We know what Universal are releasing for the rest of the year, and you can pretty well mark up which ones we'd want to play. There are some that are plainly obvious. Wally, that was a clear Penistone film. Prince Caspian was a clear Penistone film. The big surprise for us for last summer was The Dark Knight, because I didn't see that as a Penistone film. I got that wrong. We booked it, it did well. And we knew that Mamma Mia would play well. Having seen the stage show, having liked a musical since it was about this big, we knew Mamma Mia would play well. We had no idea it would play the way it did. But that's how we work. Now sometimes we get it wrong. And sometimes there's nothing to play, because what tends to happen is all the good ones come out at once. We do sometimes play split weeks. If the film companies are played ball, we'll do that. So we might run something for a couple of days and something else for another couple of days. We try and get a kids' film for a matinee if showing a 50, but it's not always possible. It's really down to the film distributors. It's all economics. It's partly the economics of the film distributors, like I've just outlined. They don't always play ball. It is expensive to operate old buildings. We do provide a service, but we do need an audience in. So you really have to keep working at it all the time. So I can understand why some have gone to the wall. It's very sad. Having said that, a colleague of mine, Rob Younger, he's opened a small cinema, in the last 18 months in Richmond, in Yorkshire. It's in an old station building. It's got 2 screens, 100 seats in each, and it's doing great business. So I think it's back to local services again. That there's a real, if you've got the market, you've got the right position, you will do the business. This place has been improving year on year. A multiplex will always be able to offer a wide choice, and that's what people expect these days. They want everything instantly, and we can never provide that. You know, that's gone. It would be lovely to have a second screen, but that we have to say, right, that's not our market. Our market is local film, quality, providing a service. The multiplexes are great. You know, there's nothing wrong with them. Well, actually, there is quite a lot wrong with them. They have one projectionist looking after 12 films. That is just nonsense, because they can't possibly know what's going on in every screen at once. But they provide a service. They're accessible more often than not. They're generally air-conditioned. And when I say accessible, you can Meadowhall's brilliant. You can get on the train, the bus, drive. It's level. You can get wheelchairs in, which we can do here, but it's an interesting challenge. They serve a purpose, and they're absolutely fine. And they are the driving force behind the growth of cinema in this country. It was only back in the 80s that people said cinema was dead. You know, everyone would be watching DVDs. They're the driving force. We're on the back of that, there's no doubt about it, but we complement what they do. A very good example of that, actually, is A Bunch of Amateurs. Now, A Bunch of Amateurs was given the Royal Performance for the film last year, because Harry Potter didn't come out, it got delayed. So Prince Charles and the rest of them went to see it at the Odeon Leicester Square, Bunch of Amateurs. The film tanked. Absolutely tanked, which is a real shame because it's a damn funny film. Disappeared in the multiplexes after a week, or if there were contracts to run it, they ran it at 10 to 1 in the afternoon. We showed it for 2 days, just chucked it in for 2 days with 2 spare days, chucked it in, had 400 people through to see it. So that's providing a service, basically. Because a lot of people wanted to see it, except they couldn't go at 10 to 1 on a weekday. So that's what we do, and that's where we link in with multiplexes, really.
Where do I come? Well, the films are brilliant. Because it's in area.
We live in Stocksbridge and it's just 3 miles away.
And it's lovely. It's so little cinema and it's so friendly. Here, I'm laughing on the
If that, you can get a pound.
Yeah, you can get a drink.